Well, let's bring you a heartwarming story that is coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. This is the real display of Kashmiriyat. Kashmiri youth rescued Army Jawans who met with an accident. An army truck which had about 12 Army Jawans on board met with an accident on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. Soon after the incident, locals rushed to the spot and helped the injured Jawans. These are the visuals that are on your screen. Despite the unrest, despite the feeling that has been propagated in Kashmir, the real display of true Kashmiriyat. Let me go across to my colleague Ashraf Bani, who is joining me live for this story. Ashraf, first of all, bring us up to speed with the incident. Where exactly did it take place? And, on one hand, where there are certain elements, those who are snatching the weapons of soldiers, those who are trying to hurt the soldiers, these are the real people of Kashmir helping the Indian Army.
Okay, this is not something new in the Kashmir Valley. We have seen when just unrest started in the Kashmir Valley on the 7th of July, just 2 days after that, such same incident happened in the Anantnag district, where CRPF vehicle got skidded off the road and fell in a deep gorge. Then there also the people, particularly the local youths, came and rescued the CRPF men from that vehicle. Same example here, same instance here on the Jammu-Srinagar highway near Lasjan, where one army vehicle got skidded from the road and turtled in a nala, and the army Jawans in that vehicle were rescued by the local population there. This is the image of Kashmir which is known for the centuries. Even we can see, anyone can talk about it, the hospitality, the helpfulness of the Kashmiri people that is visible and being endorsed across the world. This is the real face of Kashmir and Kashmiriyat. There are people who are not happy with the government, with the central government, even too with the security forces, but there are also the large sections of people who are peace-loving, who are helpful to the people, and that is why the word Kashmiriyat is so popular across country.
Ashraf, what sort of a reaction are we getting in from the people in Srinagar? There is a curfew there. Separatists are saying that there's overwhelming feeling of, against India. Is there a question that can be put to them? Aren't they not seeing how the normal Kashmiri, the local Kashmiri majority of the population is against the sentiment that they are displaying?
Ankit, one thing is clear, even the government of India as well as the state government understands there is some problem in the Kashmir Valley. Otherwise, you cannot see the longest unrest in the Kashmir Valley in decades. There is completely shut down for 93 days now today, and that is something which needs to be addressed in the Kashmir Valley. That is the reality of Kashmir. That is the ground reality. You know, I know, everyone who reported from the Kashmir Valley knows that there is some problem deep inside the Kashmir which needs to be addressed either by the government with the healing touch, what the many people, many sections, many voices in the political circles even demand. So there is problem, but one thing is the nature of the people can't be changed. It is the nature of people, Kashmiri people who are always helpful to the people. But on the other side, when a teenage boy in a downtown area yesterday got killed in a police action, there is anger too, that what was the fault of that 13-year-old boy who got killed in police action, and that is why there by the killings of these civilians in unrest, in the clashes with the security forces, with the police, got anger more and more among the masses in the Kashmir Valley.
Ashraf, also, has the army reacted to this?
As far as the relations of army and the public are concerned, they are jointly, we have seen for last so many years when army comes also to the help of the people, whether they are the crisis, whether they are the remote areas, where army comes out fairly and helps to the local peoples in the far-flung areas, in the cases of the problems across the Kashmir Valley. That is also one story of the Kashmir, where army and people have the friendly relations. But on the other front, there are differences. There are sections of population within the Kashmir Valley who are
opposing the army. Ashraf, just stay on with me. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. We are now being joined by Mr. Sohail Bukhari of the PDP. Mr. Bukhari, on one hand, there is this anger, at least as far as Srinagar is concerned, against the establishment, against the local government, against the armed forces. On the other hand, the locals there going out, rescuing army officials. Doesn't this, send a message as far as those who do not want normalcy to return to Kashmir are concerned? Okay, there seems to be some problem with Mr. Bukhari. I'm also joined by Ms. Hina Butt of the BJP. Ms. Butt, this heartwarming visuals of local youth who came out to rescue these soldiers. On one hand, we see in downtown area of Srinagar, certain, a section of youth pelting stones on the armed forces. On the other, these people coming out displaying the real Kashmiri. Should this not send a message to separatists and the Gilani and the Mirwais Farouks of the valley?
This is actual what a Kashmiri is. They believe in Kashmiriyat. They believe in humanity. These are the few Increans who create such problems. They don't have a major issue. Not all Kashmiris have these issues with the security forces. If we call CRPF, they show their anger to the normal local Kashmir police also. But what you can see in the video is the real Kashmiriyat, what real Kashmiri is. Not every Kashmiri is a militant. Not every Kashmiri supports violence. So I believe this has actually proved and given a message to all over, globally also, that this is what a Kashmir is, what a Kashmiri actually wants. They believe in humanity.
Yes, absolutely. Ma'am, very quickly before I go to Mr. Shamim Mehraj, is the editor of Kashmir Monitor. Do you think that this should give a lot of hope that there would be some change as far as the prevailing situation in Kashmir is concerned? It's been 93 days of shutdown and curfews.
I think change is there. Youth is actually going against the change what these few leaders, misleading leaders had created, and people have realized that violence, that attack on police or locals is not the actual solution for the problem. So this is a clear-cut message from a Kashmiri to all the Indians, to all over, I think, globally it's a big message.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me quickly now bring in Shamim Mehraj, the editor of Kashmir Monitor. Mr. Mehraj, how would you describe this? On one hand, we see the youth in the downtown area pelting stones at the security forces and, incidents of weapons being snatched and so on and so forth. On the other hand, young Kashmiri men coming out, helping the army in this hour of need.
Well, Ankit, let me put something very clear. The kids that perhaps were helping the army men today may well have been pelting stones till yesterday. It's not an aberration in Kashmir what happened today. It is a norm. 2 months ago when the agitation started and the bus full of yatris, it fell down in Jhelum River in Bijbehara. That time too the people defied curfew and they helped the yatris. So it is nothing new or unnatural. That is what happened today. It's a purely human response to a tragedy that took place on the highway. That truck met with an accident. The locals immediately came down, helped the injured soldiers, and let me tell you, Laljan has been one of the most volatile zones in the past 3 months, where we had heavy stone pelting, and I'm quite sure that people who were rescuing these army soldiers today, some of them may well have been pelting stones till yesterday. So it was a purely humanitarian gesture. It was not meant, well, it didn't matter who was in the truck, what he was wearing, or what he would do as a profession. It was just a purely humanitarian call, but it's the bigger messages for the entire mainland. To understand that the youth of Kashmir may have a problem with the system, they may have grudges, they may have complaints, but when it comes to pure humanity, they have no parallel, and it is something that comes very naturally to them. It was a natural response to a particular situation. I don't think they thought twice about who. It could have been any other truck, any other civilian carrying truck, but that it was army men, and also no weapon snatching took place.
Absolutely.
No one harmed the injured army men. No stone pelting took place. So, we may have a grudge. The kids may have a grudge, but today the issue was something else. We had to provide relief to the injured soldiers, and that's exactly what happened.
I'm also joined by Mr. Bukhari of the PDP, Mr. Sohail Bukhari of the PDP on the phone line. Mr. Bukhari, as Mr. Shamim was also referring that this is the true nature of the Kashmiris, these youth who possibly may have been angry, may have been pelting stones, but when they saw this sort of a problem, they came out and they helped these army men. Should this not also give you some hope of trying to engage these young men and women into some sort of a dialogue and try and find out a solution as far as the prevailing situation is concerned?
Well, I would say that it's not about such an instant giving us hope out here in the state. I would rather say that this should come as a reminder and a true reflection to the people beyond the borders of Jammu and Kashmir as well in the rest of the country. And for once, I am really happy, and it's heartwarming to see that this aspect of Kashmir is also being reported somewhere, because otherwise the portrayal, particularly in the electronic media at the national levels of Kashmir, Kashmiris in general and Kashmiri youth in particular, has been that of demonizing them. So I hope and believe that this sends across a message of what really the Kashmiri youth are all about when it comes to dealing with humans per se. Yes, there are political issues and they need to be dealt with politically.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bukhari. Also, Mr. Shrem Mehraj, for speaking to us here on India Today. One thing is for sure, that these incidents of stone pelting and others, that many are calling just a manifestation of the anger, but this also needs to be highlighted, how local Kashmiri youth came out and helped the armed forces, at least giving us hope that they can be engaged in some sort of dialogue to find a solution to the prevailing situation in Jammu and Kashmir.